Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
What is...
Oh.
Holy shit! Why is there so much oil on me? Oh, dude. I didn't get the clutch cap all the way back on. Wow, it's sprayed all over. What's up, dude? Hey, I've got you're going great.
What's up? It's your favorite commentator back. Rick, what's up, guys? Okay, we're out here, Durham Town, day 2. RatherB's going out for a hot lap. We got Jesse hot on his tail. Now, when Jesse takes off, I can hear something in the engine that's going on that's not right. The way it's popping when he's rolling into it, well, that means trouble. And I'll tell you what that is a little bit later on.
Yeah, just leave her on high and you're good. All right. Woo. Always forget how much smaller this is. I love this thing. I'm telling you right now, this, and I don't say this lightly, this is one of the most incredible machines I've ever driven. And this is coming from, you know, after driving that. It's equally as amazing, if not more, than mine. It's just so completely different. They're two completely different worlds, but man, does that thing rip. And you can just send it in the corners because his isn't a differential rear end. You can really, you know, catch those corners and corner well with it, and it just digs right in because as it leans, it puts more weight on the inside tire, where mine, the back end will just get loose. Absolutely amazing. I'm gonna get Chris in my buggy here.
Wow, yours is so much more spacious.
Oh, it's so much more. Looks like you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, when you get on the throttle, it's like, wow!
Yeah, she goes pretty good.
Man, this thing is nuts.
It's hard to even say like what it feels like. You couldn't, yeah, they're so different.
There's so much more pedal than you think. It just keeps going.
The interesting is you got a tractor to see how much longer you need it. Go balls to the wall, come back, and it's like, oh yeah, you used 40%. Right. Go for a ride?
Driving?
Oh. Yeah.
All right.
In?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
So at this point, something is not running right with the buggy, and listen to how much popping this engine is doing. Listen carefully after we land. Enhance. Enhance.
What the hell is even that?
That was a new noise.
I heard another one. Oh, a lot of new noises for me.
No, I'm good.
We got a new noise.
What, you heard that at the end, right?
I heard a lot of noise I'm not used to hearing. Mine's not turboed or...
There was a little something in there, extra.
All right, so at this point, we've got things flying off the buggy. It's making all kinds of weird noises, and I'm just trying to figure out what is going on with this thing.
Day 3.
What happened last night is it was making some weird noises, and I did a couple of hot laps around the turbo track, and the noise was changing, and I was losing boost pressure, and it was leaning out. My AFRs were spiking really high, so I thought I didn't have enough fuel. Well, what it ended up being was the bolts that hold the turbo onto the manifold, they wiggled themselves loose. The only problem here is I'm missing one of them, and I fired it up last night, and I'm definitely losing a little bit of pressure, but we just don't have a nut the size to fit that thing. I snugged the other three up really good. We're gonna run it today, see if that'll hold together. It's probably not gonna build as much boost as it could, but it's still running. Probably do some drag racing today. We definitely, RatherB and I want to line these machines up now that we've got a little bit of time on them, and we'll definitely hit the GP track.
I think he just blew up.
Do it. You gonna be my ballast boy?
Yes, please.
Hop on in, ballast boy.
I thought you'd never ask. Don't get well, it's bumpy over here, but... Motherfucker's ready to lift off the ground.
Do it again.
That's one quiet buggy.
I probably should have just called it a day with how weird the engine's been acting, but unfortunately I didn't, and this is the result.
That's the oil getting close to the turbo, I think.
That's actually nice. Get that fire extinguisher off. Just yank.
Just yank it?
Yeah, don't yank the pin, but yank the bottle. Just in case, because it's oil or something's getting on the header. It's a mount.
There was a rattle.
Well, I thought I blew a CV because it sounded
That's
just
what we
like,
thought.
It
We
sounded
saw you
just
both
like
on the
it.
ground. We're like, oh, that is CD.
Yeah, something blew up in the tranny.
Well, look, check it out. The CV boot is torn. How did that even happen?
Shit.
Oh, maybe that. Do you think it came out and slapped back again?
No, I'm in first right now. I bet I'm missing second gear.
Did the CD pop out?
I think I'm missing a gear in the tranny. I think I blew the transmission up.
Like, you think second?
I'm in second now and it's grabbing. making a lot of clacking.
It's that head.
Oh. Wait, turn it on.
Flywheel is always.
Yeah.
Just in case if it is a clutch thing and he lurches.
Best not to stand right in front of it.
Yeah.
Just in case.
What was the situation? Not even making?
The clutch. It's transmission. Yeah. Or the transmission.
As you let it out?
So let it out. Yep.
Flywheel could be chipped.
I think I blew the transmission.
Put it right. The starter though could be the technical on it. It's still starting fine. Put it. Oh. Flywheel. Don't do that. Flywheel. It's gonna break.
Could be something with the flywheel, the clutch, or the transmission blown.
Well, yeah, one of those.
This is the new clutch, right?
Okay.
This is the one you dropped and had redone?
No, that's a brand new clutch.
Okay. Think your CBR is strong enough to tow him back with him towing that? The snowmobile? Yeah. Because you can't drive this, right?
Snowmobile's out of commission.
Yeah, it's done.
This one here?
Well, that will conclude the drag strip session. It's not a Durham town trip until every machine is broken.
Still got some.
What do we have left to break?
What did I miss?
All the carnage.
What broke?
Well, everything.
That's right over there, right? I can fucking hear that.
I bet.
Dude,
Probably
when you're
hear the
on the
blow off.
two-step, ready to go. I can hear you
so
flat foot shifting too.
Really? Yeah.
You got that open.
We put the clutch in and it stopped.
The next day. Alright guys, check out this noise. Certainly not the noise you want coming out of the transmission. Now, I would have been heartbroken if the engine was making that noise, because it sounds like a rod, sounds like a broken rod. But the engine's fine, the engine runs beautifully, again, didn't push any coolant the whole time we were there. Had the boost a little bit low, so probably 20 PSI, and then also we had some manifold leaks. So basically the whole time except for day one, the manifold was leaking, and so we were losing boost pressure, the turbo wasn't spooling quite right. It was still a blast, it was still fun, it was still fast, but unfortunately all of my friends didn't get to experience the full boost experience. But in any event, I'm happy that it's coming from the transmission and not from the engine, but unfortunately the whole engine, everything's got to come out for me to get into that transmission. Now the other problem that we're having, and this is one that I'm planning on fixing right away because this is just driving me crazy at this point. And the axle, the stub axle pops out again. So that does lead me to believe that the engine, again, there's some movement in here. We know it shakes from side by side. You can even see, like when I yank on the exhaust, see there's movement in there. So definitely that engine is moving around. Now there's a couple of things I'm going to do to fix this, and I need some input from you guys. The first thing I'm going to do is I am of course going to redo all of our axles, make this stub axle much smaller and lighter because the weight of it is just shaking around too much. It's coming out of place. So I'll redo all of the axles, but I will also going to fabricate a bracket. A hard mount transmission bracket here that probably bolts onto a couple different points and just hard mounts right to the frame down here. I think there is some flex in these rear trailing arms, so I want to be able to add some kind of radius rod down here. The problem is the way that these are anchored in there's 2 points of anchor, and it doesn't move up linear to the frame, so it kind of moves on an arc as you would expect it to. However, what I may have to do is rebuild the entire trailing arm system. So my question to you guys is the best way to do this suspension, I either have one really large heim joint up here, Or would it be possible to put 2 different Heim joints, one there, one there? Because I can't do a single mount point up here unless I completely rebuild the arms. So I was thinking probably 2 Heim joints, one there, one here, and then just replicate the same thing on the other side. Or is there just a better solution, some other way of thinking and looking at this that I'm not taking into consideration? So please let me know what you guys suggest for rebuilding the rear suspension of the Buggy. I want to do it anyway because we're going to continue to put more power in it. What it is the really hard turns and corners. I think we're getting some flex from the engine, the arms, or both is my theory. I think both are moving around and it's just causing it to pop these axles loose, and it's just not quite stable enough in the rear end. So here's my theory. Something broke in the transmission on the final pull of the drag strip. I was under full power, which with the boost level I was running is probably 240 horsepower at the wheels, 250 horsepower at the wheels. So it was under high tension, high RPM, and what kept happening is this little ball here that controls the shifting from first, second, third, fourth, fifth, this little thing was popping loose. And I did notice that it had come loose when the transmission, quote unquote, blew up. So what I think happened, if this comes loose, then it can pop in and out of gear. So I believe I hit the last little bump in the drag strip. That thing popped loose, it came out of gear, or started to come out of gear under high power. The wheels then contacted the ground and it either shattered a couple of teeth off of one of the gears, but I believe what I'm hearing is I think one of the shifting forks exploded and the shifting fork is just tumbling around inside the transmission. That's what I think happened. And I say that because I'll put it into gear. Okay, we put it into gear and the transmission is locked up. So we either, and that's second gear, so the likelihood, the highest likelihood if it is just a gear problem is that I'm missing a few teeth on second gear. It was turning 8,000 RPM, you know, 250 horsepower. The transmission's rated for 70 horsepower, 6,000 RPM, and so stands to reason it was going to blow up at some point. So let's tear this thing all down and find out exactly what we exploded inside that transmission.